That's what the Karnataka government says. BC Nagesh joining me right here, Education Minister, who's been right from day one telling us exactly the same, that the Karnataka government is not against hijab as a practice at all. It's one's wish to wear what they want, where they want to. But when it comes to educational institutions like classrooms, there must be uniformity that must be maintained. Those institutions that have CDC guidelines, that have strict guidelines when it comes to uniformity, you cannot veto it, and there must be no argument on that. Mr. BC Nagesh, it appears your government's vision and your definition of uniformity inside classrooms has almost been upheld by the Karnataka High Court with its verdict being pronounced. How do you look at this?
Definitely, I am very happy because the High Court has upheld the stand of the government, and it has upheld the Karnataka Education Act and the rules of 1995. Whatever the petitioner had questioned has been dismissed, and lawmakers who had prescribed uniform to create uniformity among the young mind of India has been upheld. We know that the complexity will not be developed. Everyone feels equal before the law, and everyone feels that we are the sons of the great motherland. So uniform was introduced well before BJP government came in Karnataka, and that was upheld by the Honorable Chief Justice of the Karnataka High Court. I welcome the judgment.
Right. Mr. BC Nagesh, we heard you yourself are appealing to educational institutions to uphold the Karnataka High Court's verdict. But what we know of and what we saw right after the interim order came was many institutions that earlier allowed hijab went back to ban it completely. Would you have any word of advice to those institutions that earlier allowed hijab? Post this verdict, what should they follow?
Because I think you have followed the interim order. In the interim order, the judge had clearly said that neither orange shawls, nor flags, nor hijab can be allowed into the education institution. That is how, because of this, all the institutions followed the instruction given in the interim order of the judgment.
Right, but the interim order very specifically said that only institutions with CDC guidelines must maintain status quo. Others don't come under that ambit. But we saw almost a fallout and repercussions with other institutions that earlier allowed, now not allowing. Again, a word of direction from your end will really help solve the commotion and confusion outside these institutions, sir.
No, whatever the confusion which had come earlier will be clarified in future rules and acts. We are going to observe whatever the observation made by the Honorable High Court, and we'll study the final order copy, final orders after receiving the order copy. We'll speak with the Honorable our Chief Minister, and also with the legal department, and we will try to see that all loose end in the rules and act will be set right.
Like, for example, Mr. BC Nagesh, a quick word, like minority educational institutions which earlier allowed Muslim girls to wear hijab, even those minority schools and colleges had like a blanket ban waiting for the verdict. A word of advice to them.
As I said, I am going to, after receiving the order copy from the High Court, we are going to study that, and then we will finally say. But as of now, no government institution has right to allow hijab,
including minority institutions.
Yeah, if it is a government institution, definitely it cannot.
But it is a minority institution. It caters to the Muslim community.
No, but rules has been framed by the government of Karnataka. It runs the school institutions.
All right. Mr. Nagesh, when we speak of uniformity...
Because uniform has been...
Go on, sir.
I did not hear you properly.
No, go on. I said it is a minority institution. It is a Muslim institution run by the government. There too, it's not going to be allowed. Is that your stance?
There are two types of education institutions. One is deemed institutions, and we are run by the private peoples, and there are some minority institutions run by the government.
Right.
In the all minority government institution, percentage of the is been fixed. Even 20 to 30% of the other students will be allowed in that institutions.
All right, Mr. B.C. Nagesh, a quick word.
Thank you
The
very much.
Karnataka government's decision on uniformity. All right. There you have B.C. Nagesh there.